Okay, I've got you! Ah!
Climbers are some of the most competitive people on the planet, and they love nothing better than a challenge. And challenges don't come any bigger, better, or bolder than this.
Right. Yeah!
3 months ago, Dave and Tim teamed up to take on something that, even by their standards, is beyond the extraordinary.
Oh, this is going to be a pretty wild 5 days. Yes!
Their plan is to climb 5 extreme new routes on 5 different Hebridean islands in 5 consecutive days, starting at the end of May. It's an astonishing undertaking, and at the very start of their journey, as the ferry pulls into Stornoway, it wasn't looking good.
What do you think the chances are of getting 5 new routes on 5 islands done in 5 days?
Well, I've got to say, if you ask me honestly, I think the chances are quite a lot less than half.
Yeah.
Just because of the weather as it is.
There's snow on the mountains, which is fresh from last night,
Yeah.
and now we're going out to these islands that are completely mobbed with cloud and rain. What are we up to?
Well, it's so different. Like the difference between even the mainland at Skye and like all down the west coast of Scotland to the Western Isles is totally different again. But also we've got another variable that we're not used to in climbing, and that is the boat and the sea and what's happening with that. So just landing and getting back off the islands and transferring all our gear and all that, all of it adds time and complication, and so we're just going to have to make up as we go along.
I think the next 7 days ahead are going to be a totally wild adventure.
Doing one new route at this standard normally requires months of training and preparation. Sometimes Dave's taken years to complete a single climb.
The thing is that Dave really wants to do hard routes. He keeps saying that. He's like, I want to do 5 hard routes. And I'd be quite happy just to do 5 routes and 5 islands, but Dave's on a mission.
And there's no disputing that mission. They'll have to take their chances with the weather, but if everything goes to plan, they'll put up the first ever route on Shiants before heading for Harris, followed by Lewis and North Berneray. Finally, and that's a big if, there's a new climb to be done on St Kilda, but getting there is never easy. That's the plan, but whatever happens, this is all new to Tim.
Hey, so Dave, if you could put it in a nutshell, what's the one thing that you like about the islands the most?
It's really remote, really barren, and there's all these contrasts. So even when I've not been able to climb, I've still always enjoyed the trip here. The landscape adds a whole other part on top of the climbing.
I love the wild feeling of being
it's
so
like end of the world
exposed
feeling,
to
that's right.
the next place west of here is America.
It's amazing the transformation, even from the Highlands when you get the ferry over. Immediately it's colder and windier.
Yeah, when we got off the ferry, it was lashing it down with rain and all the clouds on the hills and all the houses were really grey and it was cold and windy and pretty unpleasant really. And now, it's totally changed. I mean, look at that, it's beautiful.
Is that our boat down there? That's the boat. See the green boat?
You're kidding?
Yeah.
No way. It's huge.
Yeah.
Way bigger than I was expecting.
So that could be quite stable for sleeping on, don't you think?
Yeah. They've got a rib on the roof.
Yeah, you can use that to get to the Shiants and the Flannans if we go there.
The boat, the Kuma, is skippered by Murdo MacDonald. This will be Tim and Dave's main form of transport, and they're hoping it'll be big enough to cope with anything the weather can throw at them.
Outlook for the following 24 hours. Wind northeasterly, veering southeasterly.
They've got 2 days before the challenge officially starts, which means they've got a chance to inspect their first route on the Shiants. These islands lie some 12 or so miles off the east coast of Harris. The rocks are volcanic in origin and provide a wealth of sheer sea cliffs to choose from. But there's been no serious climbing here before.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot. You all right, Dave?
Here we go.
Yes. You're going to see those puffins? I want to check out the puffin.
Tim studied zoology at university. Dave has 2 degrees in sports science. But in both cases, academic study has taken second place to their love of climbing and adventure. This is their real work.
So, just going to head us down the rope, get started. I've only got a couple of hours.
I tell you what, Dave, pop it around this. I'll just put it around here.
Around this bit of turf here?
This bit of turf, yeah. I reckon that'll be right. Sorted.
Your feet goes over and I go, whoa.
Yeah.
Is it going to stay there, yeah?
I mean, that's a big bit of turf there.
Right,
As soon as you put weight on it, you'll be fine.
I'm going to have to do this kind of suddenly because there's no foothold here. Oh, it's so slimy and wet.
Dave needs to go over on the right-hand side. The main piece of gear is way back there, so what we're doing is moving it over a little bit and just putting it around this tuft of grass just to hold it in position. It works surprisingly well, actually. You might think that it's going to pop over, but as soon as you go down, it really pulls the rope into the ground.
Abseiling down parallel routes, Dave and Tim are assessing which might be the better option for tomorrow's climb.
It's probably just okay to stand on. This is why this thing is so hard, because doing one new route like this takes a lot of time, because you do have to spend a lot of time preparing before you even get a chance to get on and try and do the climb. Whether you can actually climb the moves is just the last part of it, so you've got all this work to do to start with.
A couple of hours on the rock face, and they're beginning to get a feel for what lies ahead. It's the end of work for today, and they'll spend the night on one of the neighbouring islands.
And the sun coming. This is the first time since we got here that the sun's come out. Brilliant. Nice one, guys. See you in the morning. Dave, can you grab that?
Yeah,
cheers, mate.
But there's still a big decision to make. Exactly what route they'll attempt tomorrow.
I think the reason why new routes are so highly prized by climbers is because no one's ever done them before, and it's the whole adventure of trying to be the first person to scale a particular piece of rock. And normally, because they haven't been done before, it's usually because they're quite hard.
We've got a couple of options. One, I'm fairly confident I could do, but it would still be hard. And then the harder line, which is the better one through all the roofs, it'll really be a tough route, and it might be too hard. So I don't want to make the call to like go for the harder route and then just fail, because we've got the time limitation. So I think tonight, before I go to sleep, I'll be like going, which one is the best decision? There's definitely an appeal of just going somewhere that no one's gone before, and not in a sort of egotistical sense of like, I'm the first person to go there. It's just because you have to make it up as you go along. You can't read in a book and say, oh, well, they did that, so we'll do that. We'll learn from it, make it a bit easier.
It's quite bizarre that it's nearly 10 o'clock and it's totally light.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like it's about to get dark. Awesome. Camping essentials. Lightweight sleeping bag, thermarest, head torch, and a good stable home that's going to keep you away from all the wind and the bad weather.
So, there's a climb for tomorrow.
Yeah. Bring on the sunshine. Here's to a fine adventure.
Oh, hopefully it's going to be good.
Check out my new haircut. Good morning. I've not had a chance to put the makeup on yet.
Got some decision making to do.
The sun's shining, and the wall should, if the weather stays good, be dry enough for them to try the harder of the two routes they inspected yesterday. This was the one Dave wanted to go for, but it'll be at the very limit of his ability.
Looking at the wall just now, where is it? It's over here now.
It's definitely drier than yesterday.
It's drier than yesterday, but
sure.
it's still wet.
But that's good, because yesterday it was like an ice ring. There's no way you could have climbed it yesterday.
Yeah.
No chance.
So, this is it. The challenge of the 555 starts when the ship's hooter sounds. 5 days of exceptionally hard climbing lie ahead.
Is that us?
That's us.
Are we
Let's do
on?
it.
Right then. Thanks, Birdo. Cool, man. Right then.
Here we go.
We'll have a little look. We'll go in and have a little look. Yeah, it's just there on the left.
Not on the left, yeah.
Where are the sledges?
In the back of the corner there where there's a ledge.
Yeah, I want to go right in there, Gary.
It's just going to bump now. Hang on.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, sorry, mate.
It's all right, mate. It's all right. What a great way of starting a route. Do you know what I mean? The adventure, just getting onto the cliff face.
And today it's Dave who's leading off. On inspecting this climb, Dave reckoned that it would be graded an E8, probably the hardest route any climber can do without months of preparation. 4 years ago, Dave pushed the boundaries even further with the world's first E11, a new route on Dumbarton Rock just outside Glasgow. It took him 3 years to complete, and many would claim makes him one of the best climbers in the history of the sport. But what drives a man like him? We asked award-winning interviewer Edie Stark to probe beneath the surface. In climbing terms, he must surely be the greatest.
If you thought about sport in terms of being the greatest all the time, it's one of the most demotivating things because one, you can't always be the greatest. In fact, it's really hard ever to be the greatest at anything.
Yeah, but you do outrageously hard climbs and you conquer them.
Yeah, but it's not.
And you do climbs that nobody has done before, which does mean that you're the greatest.
Well, I mean, even if it did mean that I was the greatest, that's still not the important part of it.
But you are. I'm asking you how it feels to be like that then.
It just feels nice that I've found something that...
Nice. It feels nice.
It feels nice.
That's such an ordinary word.
Yeah, it's just not. It's not the centre of the experience. It's like the periphery. Yeah. It's like it's great to have exceeded my own expectations. It's great when other people say like, "Oh, what you've done is really really amazing." I mean, it is like really a very powerful thing to feel that you have influenced other people in a good way. I mean, that's separate from the personal feeling of like, I've done this great thing, like I should be proud of myself, you know.
But you are making history.
Yeah, and that's it's nice to make history. Saying that again.
Nice.
When any sports person who's really passionate and does it in a big way looks back on a sporting career, I think they'll find that the periods when they were working towards their best achievements would be the most enjoyable parts of them, and often the moment of their achievements can be like quite an anticlimax, and sometimes not always the happiest times. I mean, I think you can actually convince some people can try and convince themselves that it is like the happiest time, and if you look at things really really simplistically, then you can say, yeah, like I won that gold medal, or I did that climb, it was the hardest climb in the world.
Wait, when you say E11 is pretty fantastic, isn't it?
I was really lucky that I had found a climb that was just perfect for my skills. Like, it really was perfect. And if I'd tried a climb in another style, then I couldn't have made that good performance.
Yeah.
So I basically knew what my strengths were, found a challenge that fitted them perfectly, and then put a lot of effort into it. So made it happen. It was great. It's fantastic.
Today's climb is 50 metres high and is made up of 2 pitches. The first pitch is the most difficult one and contains some moves that both climbers might find impossible to do, and that's when the rock is dry. Right now, it's still pretty damp.
Ooh, this looks quite adventurous, like just like slimy.
You got lots of chalk, Dave?
Yeah, I've got quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Okay, I'm going to start wobbling my way up this groove. Supposedly if I come off here, I'll just go straight in the sea.
Is that hold on top of the flake up there, Dave?
Yeah, it's out of reach at the minute. Hope the spike doesn't come off when I pull on it.
Bit hollow.
It is a bit, yeah.
Steady away.
Right, going to move on up the groove. So I just watch because if I come off, it'll just because my feet slip on the smears. Good hold on the right.
How's the rock, Dave?
It's getting a bit drier now. I'm getting further away from the sea.
Nice.
Still just very slightly greasy. But
Pretty solid.
At least there's some holds here. Yeah, it's quite solid. I'll put everything on blue up to the roof, and then once I move around the corner, I'll just put it on red.
Good plan.
It has an expressive element in that you can bring your own imagination to the movement and figure out what to do with your hands and feet. But ultimately you have to try and understand what the layout of the holes in the rock is asking you to do. I'm very into solving the subtleties of the problems and beavering away, and especially when you get a chance to try again and again and finally work through it.
Oh my God!
Go on, Dave.
Dave's reached one of the hardest sections on this pitch, with a series of difficult moves that require all his skill and endurance. So he needs to make sure that the piece of protection he's fixing is strong enough to hold any fall.
Damn. Didn't go in right.
Is it not going in?
No, it's really awkward to try and reach it. It's a real stretch, so I can't really fiddle with it.
Where's the next bit of gear after that?
Just around the corner. It looks really committing when you go around the corner.
Yeah, I bet.
There's just no foothold at all. So you're just going to have to totally go for it.
It's a good job you're the dead hanging king.
I'm not really. Oh man.
Dave spends a lot of his time training his finger strength by hanging on door frames with one arm. And as a result, his fingers are ridiculously strong. Looks like on this section here, he's got no footholds at all, so he's purely going to have to rely on his fingertips to pull his body weight up through the roofs. Are you warmed up, mate?
Huh?
How are your arms? You warmed up?
Yeah, I'm warm, yeah.
Yeah?
All right, I'm going to go for a look.
Haha, enjoy. Bon voyage.
Come on.
The physical aspect is having finger strength to weight ratio, so it's important to be light. I'm about 2 stone lighter than I was when I was 16, so I've sort of changed my body shape to be good at climbing. And then the other thing is having really strong fingers. You can just hold on to something really small.
So what sort of diet are you on then to be as light as you are?
Well,
I've been told the climber's diet is 2 grapes and a laxative.
well, that's not strictly true because I do a lot of physical exercise. You know, I walk up mountains and I carry a lot of gear, and then I do hard rock climbs. It takes a lot of physical effort. So if you compared my diet to most people's, actually more. I mean, quite often I'll eat like 5,000 calories in a day on a mountain day, which is, it's a lot. Not a lot compared to like endurance cyclists or something like that, but it's more than most people. Mm-hmm. But I do try and keep my weight down. So I just try and eat. I mean, a good sporting diet is a generally healthy, varied diet. Nothing too special really. But you do have to stay light. And climbing is an unusual sport because a lot of weight match sports, like in boxing or jockeying, you either have to be light before the actual event, but not during it, so you can dehydrate. Or in the case of jockeying, you don't have to have that same dependence on physical strength and endurance. So climbing, you have to have that, which means you have to be able to fuel a lot of training, but at the same time you have to be really light. And that's a really hard balancing act to get. So.
Okay, climbing.
All right, mate. Good luck. Go on, Dave. Go on.
Wet.
You right, mate?
Yeah. I've just got to watch the rope. It's over the edge.
Okay. Do you want to come back down?
No, no, just keep me there.
All right. Pretty exciting. You all right?
Yeah.
Was that the wet hold then?
I never even got to match it. The whole thing was wet, like just green. And I was just going to match it and this hand just exploded off.
It looked good.
What shall I do now?
Oh, have another go. You just disappeared out of sight.
Just green.
Yeah. So Dave, is that the first crux, do you think?
No,
No, you haven't got there yet.
no.
All right. Hey, well, Dave, you wanted hard. You've got it.
Right, round two, round two. If the rope cuts on this edge, I should go straight into the sea. And you'll be able to pull me in on the red rope.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'll even lend you my jacket, mate.
This kind of physical exertion is punishing. Most people would claim it's an extreme sport, one which attracts a particular type of person.
I climb for many, many different reasons, and all of the other things I do in my life are related or unrelated in different ways. And
But you are an extreme athlete.
yeah, I suppose when it comes down to it, yeah, I mean, I spend my time looking to do as hard and dangerous climbs as I possibly can, so yeah, I suppose you could apply that definition, yeah.
So why are hard and dangerous so attractive to you?
Doing something that's at your limit and also has risk, it brings out the best in you. It forces you to come out of yourself and reach further than you would have been able to before.
Are you not good at coming out of yourself?
I think I'm as good as anyone else, but I think like it's some external conditions in life, in this case in sport, is what is the catalyst for the enjoyment. And if you add, so if you have a sport that's really demanding, that's one ingredient, and then if you add risk on top of that, then that adds a whole other thing. You know, if you think of times when you felt the strongest, like if you can imagine in any situation, a time where you felt absolutely buzzing, it's quite often after something risky that happened. I mean, the closest I've ever come to dying was I nearly got run over by an ambulance outside Glasgow University, because I was walking out of uni and I wasn't concentrating at all, and I was walking past the entrance to the hospital, and the lights were at red, and so I glanced to my left and the traffic was at red, so I was crossing the side road going into the hospital, and so I just automatically thought, the lights are at red, the traffic's stationary, so I don't have to look both ways to cross this road.
Yeah.
Ambulance came flying in.
I know, but you fall all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's close to dying.
Certain situations
You must often have been close to dying.
A few times, not very often. A few times in 17 years of climbing.
Okay, climbing.
All right, watching you. Go on, Dave. Nice. Go on. Go on, Dave.
This is the crux movement of the whole route. If Dave can't succeed here, then their aim of climbing 5 hard new routes in 5 days could be over. They've waited as long as possible for the rock to dry out, but now he must go for it. First things first though, he must make sure there's enough gear in the rock to hold him if he should fall again.
Nice one!
I've got runners on orange!
What?
I've got runners on orange!
Good one!
Okay, climbing!
Okay! Good effort. Go on, Dave. Go on, my son. Go on. Go on, Dave. Go on. Come on. Good effort. Oh, it's really hard. Nice. Nice one. Go on, mate. Good effort. Go on. Good effort. Oh, come on. Brilliant. What a machine.
This is incredibly hard, sustained climbing, where Dave's physical strength and endurance are being tested to the limit.
Hey, good effort, man.
Come on!
Go on, Dave. 2 or 3 more hard
Come
moves
on.
and then he's at the belay. Go on. Go on, mate. Go on, go on. Good effort. Awesome. That's awesome. Go on. Brilliant. Good effort, Dave. Good effort, man. Awesome.
Yes!
What a machine. Brilliant. God, this is going to be a pretty wild 5 days. Start off with an E8. We've got 2 more to do.
I've just got a bit of a move to mantle onto the block.
You what?
A bit of a move to mantle onto the block.
Yeah, nice. Don't blow it now.
Dave has nearly reached the top of this first pitch. He'll make himself safe with a belay, and then Tim will follow up.
Cool. Yes.
Hey, good effort, man. That was awesome.
I didn't think that was going to happen there. I got the very first hard move. I pulled on the first hold I had to pull hard on. I just came right off it and went flying. I just got this sheen of dampness from the sea spray. And so you feel like you're secure, so you're concentrating on the climbing, and then the next thing you're flying backwards through the air. But the second time, I was a bit more ready for it, so I just got the hold a bit quicker, and then the rest of it kind of fell into place. But I really felt like I was battling there. It felt hard. So I'm really, really chuffed to be here. But yeah, we're only halfway, so Tim's pitch is still a bit of a meaty piece of climbing. So yeah, I better bring him up and let him get on with it. Whoa! He just got soaked. Oh no.
That's hilarious. Watch on this bit, mate. My feet are soaked.
Tim needs to start climbing quickly before he's engulfed by the rising tide. Climbing relies on friction, so having wet boots is not good news.
He's climbed up the lower slab, so he's just about to start to get to the hard stuff. So it breaks you in kind of gently this route. It's not too bad, but as soon as he moves around the corner, so the fun kicks off. I think he'd actually prefer it if it was a bit harder at the start, because it's going to be a brutal warm up for him. At least I had the chance to hang about on the moves a wee bit earlier.
Wow, I can't see any holes.
The tide was starting to come in and getting higher, and he just said to me, "Oh, that was just in time. The tide's getting a bit higher," and about 3 seconds later, a big wave came and soaked him. So I think he's got kind of wet feet in the moment, which is going to really help for the hard part when the footholds are tiny. Go. Come on, man.
Yeah!
Good.
Yeah! Take it!
He fell off.
Both Dave and Tim are at the top of their game. They're both in their early 30s and they're both married. But that's where the similarities end. Dave is calm, measured and collected. Tim, enthusiastic, energetic and manic. So when Edie Stark met him, she wanted to know if he'd always been like this.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
So would your mother have described you as being a handful?
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah. God, I mean, like Katie and I are thinking about having kids, and when my dad heard this, he was like, wow, I can't wait. Then you'll realise.
What it is to have you.
Then you'll know what it's like to have a mini Timmy running around. Yeah, I think I was a bit of a handful when I was young.
In what ways? What did you do?
Just, I like to do my own thing, and I like to get into trouble, and I was really inquisitive. And I think the epitome of this was when I was 3 years old. My mum got a phone call from the next door neighbour who was hysterical, and she was like, Jilly, you've got to come outside. I think your son's on the roof of your house. And what had happened is my mum had left the window open in her bedroom, which went out onto the flat roof above the kitchen. And I'd crawled out onto there, or got out onto there, and there's a little drain pipe which is about 6 foot high, which somehow I'd managed to climb up. And I'm not exaggerating either, because I quizzed my dad about this, because I said, well, it must have been like a really short drain pipe. And he was like, no, it was the height of a person. And I'd managed to climb up the drain pipe and up onto the apex of the roof and all the way up to the top.
And you were 3?
And I was 3, and I was sitting with my legs on either side of the top of the house. And that's when my neighbour saw us, and my mum was in bits, because she obviously couldn't get me down. So
You don't remember this?
No. So the local window cleaner was doing a job nearby and he came and rescued me, you know. That's rubbish.
Back on the rock face, and this move, where Dave struggled, is exceptionally hard. The rock is still wet. Even seconding the pitch, with the security of the rope above, Tim's finding it desperate.
Good, go on.
Success on the first move, but time is ticking away, and Tim knows he's got to lead the next pitch. So, Dave lends a hand.
Big lock off, right up to where the cab is.
Take us, Dave.
Yeah. Cool.
The lead climber mustn't rely on any artificial help, but the person seconding can take advantage of the rope.
Good effort, man.
For the second half of this route now, I think we can do it, but it's still, we could fail, even having done this part. We could still fail, like really close to the top, and then we'd have to do the whole thing again. Except this week we don't have a chance, we've just got to do it. So the pressure's on Tim now.
Wicked, man.
He's up to the job. He's up to the job. He'll do it.
Just like to do everything. Whatever it is, I'll put everything into it. It's really important that if I do have an objective, I need to be disciplined, not to overstep the mark. I do find that quite hard sometimes.
How much discipline is there in your life, though, to be able to achieve what you are able to achieve?
Wow, I think Dave's really good at discipline. He seems to have excellent systems and dedication to be able to train scientifically to attain the level that he's managed to acquire. Whereas for me, I tend to just run around doing everything, and I do have issues with discipline, actually. It's a good challenge. It's one of my greatest challenges, is to be disciplined.
Pitch 1 was exceptionally hard, but pitch 2 isn't going to be a pushover. Tim will need strength, stamina, and yes, discipline to bring the climb to a successful finish.
Yes, it'll be a good pitch, man.
Yeah, very contrasting to the other one. Slabby technical with not a lot of holes. Looks like it's quite a few small wires. Good.
Right, well, enjoy yourself.
Thanks, mate. Oh, that's a bomber. Watch there, Dave.
Okay.
Just get my little fingers in there. All right, mate, watch it.
Okay, man, go for it. Cool.
Wow, it's so different to the other pitch. All right. It's really good climbing, this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
wicked. Such a great combination to what we were doing earlier. So, hey, it's really good. Yeah. Nice.
Well done.
Born and brought up in England, Tim now splits his time between a home in the UK and one in Canada. That's when he's not travelling the world in search of adventure.
Good, Tim. Go on.
I've been climbing for 20 years, and it's not just about the physical fitness, but it's about the way in which you use it in this sort of environment. There's a lot of loose rock here and some of the protection is really poor. If you don't put it in right, it's going to fall out and it can make it really dangerous. The preparation, both from lots of years of experience, is huge actually. All right, a bit of sunshine.
Well done.
I mean, I broke my leg back at the end of February, and I've been trying to climb as much as possible so that when I came and did this shoot, I'd actually be able to do some quite hard climbing too and keep up with Dave, because he's been on fire the last year or two. I've been climbing about 5 times a week, doing lots of finger training on campus boards, been hanging on those with 3 fingers, 4 fingers, 2 fingers, for about 10 seconds at a time, every day, 5 days a week, for about a month. So I've been climbing lots. I even started climbing 1 foot when my leg was in plaster. I climbed for about a month in the climbing wall with 1 leg. Because I knew that if I didn't, I wouldn't stand a chance. It's quite funny actually, when I went to the hospital and I'd been in plaster for 6 weeks, I turned around to the doctor and I was like, well, what can I do with it? Can I go climbing? You know, can I? And he said, well, you can resume normal activity, but I probably wouldn't go abseiling. Go on, get your foot on there, mate. When you're climbing well, it feels amazing. It feels really, really special. You feel completely free. You get to the top and you've got amazing views and you just feel indestructible. It can put you on a real high actually, for weeks, even months if you do something special. And I love that feeling, I love that sensation. And I also find that by climbing regularly, it keeps me in really good shape. Right. And I feel fit and energised, and the best places to go climbing are some of the most beautiful and amazing places in the world. The other thing about climbing, which is I really, really value enormously, is that we all have bad days. You know, like whether it's at work or you have some bad news or whatever, you don't feel so great. Well, if I go climbing when I feel like that, it's almost like a cleansing process, and it just filters all that away, and you're focusing on getting the next hold or trying to get to the top of the cliff. What an exciting finale. So close yet so far. This rock's minging. I wonder if I could go up and walk across there maybe. I think that's alright, there's just no foothold. Oh, it'd be so nice just to get to the top. What an hour is that, isn't it? Sorry, mate, I'll be up in a minute.
Cool, man.
The rock's just, it's really rotten and hollow and
take your time on that bit.
broken. Oh, man. Feeling the chill. It's rubbish. Watch me here, mate.
Okay. Nice, go on. Cool. Nice.
All right. Aha!
Well done.
Magic. All right, mate, I'm safe.
Okay, cheers.
Brilliant. One down, 4 to go.
So, success on day 1 on the Shiants. Tim's elated. Now the 555 challenge is really on.
Splendid. God, the rock just got so rubbish. You know, it's like it's coated in this layer of sort of crusty pancake that's all falling apart and not really bonded to anything, but it covers the surface of the rock. Hey, that's a cool route, man. That's ace. Dave did really well. Oh, it's wicked, man. Yeah, it's really, really, really good, actually. Yeah, yesterday when we had a look at it and it was all wet and slimy, it was horrible. And it just seemed really improbable, but it's dried off a lot now. The climbing's just superb.
Oh, man. Freezing.
That top bit's brilliant, like the bottom bit's brilliant as well. And it's really contrasting pitches. Hard though. Yeah, really hard. I mean that's as hard as sea cliff climbing gets, really. So to do that on our first mission, yeah, brilliant effort. It's fun climbing with Dave. I like climbing with people that are better than you, you know what I mean? That's a good start. That's a really, really good start for this trip, because not only have we done it, but it's hard. It's really hard. I think both of us were really tested on that. It's nice to get one under your belt. You know what I mean? It sets a good precedent for the next day. Dave's pretty good. You know what I mean? He's pretty handy. I mean, people don't climb much harder than that. So to do that on the first day, and then tomorrow we've got another one which is probably going to be E8, and the day after we've got another one which is E8 as well. So to climb 3 E8s in 3 days, whether they're new or not, is a huge achievement. Woo! And then we've got to do 2 more, and the weather's got to be good, and we've got to get between all the islands. So it's a big ask, and I think this introduction's going to really boost our confidence for the next climb. Nice one, mate.
Yeah, cool.
Aha! Welcome to the top.
Ah, fantastic. Cool.
Good effort, man.
Good one.
Splendid.
Hey, that was quite a full value pitch as
It
well.
was, wasn't it? Yeah, a bit of all sorts. That whole route's got a bit of all sorts.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, one climb in the bag.
Yeah, a good one too.
And a good one, and a hard one as
Yeah.
well. God,
Yes,
it's full on.
it is full on. I don't think that's going to be repeated in a hurry.
Anytime soon, I know. Wow. But I'm well chuffed to finish that. I mean, it's spectacular climbing through all the roofs there. Got a bit of everything. It has teetering up this slab, really balancy, and then like brutal, powerful moves on big holds, and then onto tiny, tiny holds again. All sorts of terrain, and just feels, I mean, for a 50-metre cliff, it feels like a big place, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, you definitely feel like you've done a proper route, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. But I tell you what, I'm ready for a cup of tea.
I'm ready for a beer.
We're underway, that's one climb done, and a fantastic one. So it really feels different, you know, when you have something on the scorecard, doesn't it? You're not anticipating it anymore, you're here doing it.
Yeah.
So.
Mate, we did it.
I can't believe it, can't believe it.